My sister begged me to carry a mystery package to school, then told everyone it wasn't hers. What's the coldest thing your sibling ever did to you? When I was 11, my 15-year-old sister started dating a guy named Jake, and Mom called him trouble from day one. They fought about him almost every night, and my sister would slam her door so hard my toys fell over. One Friday, she found me in the basement playing video games and sat next to me like we were friends. She said, "Want to make easy money? $20 if I carried a small package in my backpack at school and gave it back after class." I asked what it was, and she smiled and said, "Just stuff for Jake, it's no big deal." Then she added, "You're the good kid. No one checks your bag." I was 11, and $20 felt huge. So I took the tape bundle and shoved it between my math book and my lunchbox. That Monday, right after the bell, the loudspeaker announced a surprise locker search with dogs. The hallway went quiet, then loud. My stomach dropped. The dog team turned the corner, and I watched them get closer to my locker. The dog stopped in front of it and sat down like it was pointing at me. A security guy asked for my combination, and my fingers shook as I spun the lock. They pulled out my backpack, unzipped it, and found the package in seconds. They walked me to the office while kids stared. The principal set the package on his desk, cut it open, and I saw the weed. My mouth went dry, and I started crying. He asked where I got it, and I blurted out that it wasn't mine, that my sister told me to hold it for Jake, and that I didn't even know what was inside. He leaned back and said, "You know this can get you expelled, right?" I nodded so fast my neck hurt. He made me write a statement, and my hand shook so bad the words looked like scribbles. Every few minutes he asked, "Are you sure you want to blame someone else?" Like he was waiting for me to admit it. Then he called my parents. When Mom and Dad rushed in, my sister came with them, still in her soccer uniform. Her eyes were red like she'd been crying, and for one second I thought she was going to save me. I whispered, "Tell them the truth." She looked at the floor, then at our parents, then at me. She said, "Quiet and steady. I don't know what he's talking about. I never gave him anything." It felt like the air got sucked out of the room, and my ears started ringing so bad. My dad turned to me like he'd never seen me before. My mom asked why I'd lie. The principal just nodded like the case was closed. On the drive home, my dad didn't say a word until we hit our street. Then he snapped and demanded I stop playing games and tell the truth. I got suspended for 2 weeks and grounded for a month. Dad took my PlayStation, and my mom went through my room like I was hiding more secrets. At school, after the suspension, teachers watched me like I might do it again, and kids whispered when I walked by. I tried to explain, but no one believed me because my sister had already said it wasn't her. Later, I learned Jake had been caught with drugs before, and one more time would wreck his life. That's why my sister picked me. I was the safe kid. I spent the next few years barely speaking to her because every time I saw her face, I heard that lie. Then last summer, she came home from college to visit. She had a new boyfriend who seemed normal, but I still kept my distance. One night, she knocked on my door and came in holding 2 ice cream sandwiches, my favorite. She sat on my bed, hands shaking, and said, "About that day, I need to tell you something." I didn't even take the ice cream at first. She pulled out her phone and said, "I saved everything." Then she showed me old texts from Jake. They weren't sweet messages, they were threats. He talked about knowing where I walked home, and he said if she didn't help him move his stuff, he'd make sure I had an accident. Right under that, I saw her messages begging him to stop and leave me alone. My chest got tight as I scrolled, because it was specific, like he really had been watching me. The dates matched the week I got caught. I looked up and asked, "Why didn't you tell Mom and Dad?" She wiped her face and said Jake's dad was a cop, and Jake kept saying no one would believe her. She said she panicked and thought the only way to keep me safe was to get me stuck at home, where she could watch me. "If you got suspended," she whispered, "you wouldn't be walking alone." I wanted to scream, because she still could have told the truth after. She said she broke up with him that week, but she was ashamed and terrified, and then it felt too late. The ice cream was melting in my hand, dripping onto my fingers. I stared at her and said, "You should have trusted me with the truth." Her shoulders dropped like she'd been holding her breath for years. I finally took